My name is Hassan. I'm a 300 level student and I'm interning with 10 levels undergrad as their interview and PR guy. So I'll be doing this interview to help bring people out of the 9 to 5 struggle because that's what 10x undergrad is about. It's about exposing other forms of income generation as to break the yoke of white collar office job and to further expose people to other possibilities. So could you introduce yourself, please, sir? Thank you.
Okay, Akinwale Mosope a 600 level medical student of Lagos State University College of Medicine.
All right, sir. For the interview, what do you do? Things you do, your business, your family, how?
Okay, yeah, I'm a medical student. Well, I came in via direct entry though, so I already had a degree. And I'm into event decorations, and I'm also I'm into event decorations, and I'm also an organist. I don't know if you understand that. As an organist, I
You play your
play the organ too.
all right.
But my business usually is the event business. Yeah,
All
event
right.
decorations to be specific.
All right, sir. So, when did you start the event decoration business? When exactly? How long has it been?
Well, let's say I picked up the skill from my late mom. So it was just something like just interest, once you see someone doing something, you just get interested in it. But when I lost my mom, and I can do this thing now, so and people are doing it, they make money from it. So that's where I started. So basically, I'll just say maybe I went fully into it from like 2013, basically.
All
So I've
right.
been into the event business since like 2013.
I'm sorry to hear the loss of your mom. May she rest in peace. So you answered the second question. I wanted to ask how you learned it, but you explained to us that it was from your mom and that was her business and that's where you picked it from. So starting in 2013,
Yeah.
that's very fantastic. So what's the backstory? What is the things that people do not see about the business that you do, the struggle? How that's what's your backstory? Apart from, yes, we see the event business, but what's behind that? What's the struggle?
Hmm. One thing people don't realize is, even with clients and everybody, is that the event business it's supposed to be sometimes a full-time business, something you're supposed to dedicate that can take every of your time. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes how do I put it, your intellect. You have to put this in order. There are some times where you think things are supposed to go like this, and you have to bring out your creative self in it. So, one thing about it is you have to put your mind in it that, okay, I just want to do this. It's not just about you having the skill. There are a lot of people who have the skill, but as a business, the skill alone can take you far. Even as I am, I still some height I still want to get to, and a lot of things. And understand, being a medical student, there are limits you want to do, because if you want to focus on the event fully, you have to put your time, your money. This is something that you use money to get money,
Yes,
and
yes.
that is the event business for you.
All right.
Because if you don't invest, you will only be working for those that invested. Let me break this down for you. Like, if you don't invest in it, you don't have the materials needed. Once you get a job, you can get a job of like 200,000, 300,000. You're going to spend 150,000 out of it paying someone who has the materials to rent the materials.
Oh,
So out of the remaining 50,000, you pay those that will work with you, because event is not, depending on how the event is, you can't do it alone. You need people to wear chair covers in front of the date. You need someone to help with the flower arrangement, someone to do the lighting and things like that. So if you don't invest in event business, you only be working for those that invested. So for anybody that wants to go to the invest to into events, I'll just tell you that, okay, just pick, either you pick a specific aspect and have the skill yourself, but also think about having some materials for yourself. So at least, even if you have to even get more from outside, you just be enriching someone else who is just sitting at home. You also get to at least make ends meet for yourself.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Akinwale. In the course of your speech, you answered some questions that I'd love to ask you, but there is an emphasis. I want you to make emphasis on you being a medical student and you working as an event decorator. There isn't a direct link. It means that both of them are very time consuming. So I want you to give us your coping mechanism. You are in your final year, means that you've written several exams, you crossed several hurdles, and it's working out. So I want you to tell all of the viewers and listeners who will be listening to this material later on, what's your coping mechanism being a medical student that is very active in event decoration as well in school?
Yeah, my copy mechanism. It might not work for a lot of you people. But what I was going to say is, let me say, I'm a bit lucky. You know, when I got into Lasucom, I think there was someone who does the event program for Lasucom, the decorations and things like that. But when I came in, I think he had graduated. So probably they needed someone. So that helped me. So I was able to create a niche here in Lasucom for even since my 200 level, I've been the one decorating the Lasusa dinner, all Lasusa event, entrepreneurship summits. I've been the one doing the decoration. And that has helped me because with that, it's in school. Doesn't mean I have to go somewhere far. So I had to like, okay, reduce my the events I have to do. I work on, okay, let me focus more on events in school and some around and some on things like that. Fine, it's not making it easy for me because I would have loved to do more, but I have to put it that I want to also be a doctor. I need to pass, I need to read. You know, there are some jobs I would go for after working for the next 3 days. I can't carry a book. I will only be deceiving myself. So it has to be, you have to prioritize and also try to compartmentalize yourself. You know, when I know that I'm getting towards an in course or getting towards an MB, I avoid having jobs around that period because number one, I'll be stressed out. I can't read, so I'm just going to waste my time if I carry any book. Then and also your health is very important, doing a lot of things together, so you need to just so the what helped me is just I just find a way to I'm the kind of person that people used to say that I don't read, I don't this like that. I read at my own pace, and I try to, when I see that okay I've stressed myself, I try not to read. So I try to, one thing I do as much as I do jobs, I try to attend all classes, all lectures, to listen. I sit in front in class. Apart from me having some eye issues, I try to sit in front so I can hear what the lecturer is saying. Because I know that once I can hear what he's saying, if I go back to my book, I just need to read one or two more times because I don't have time to read 3 or 4 times. But I can still struggle to read 1 or 2 times my books. So it's just about priority and just knowing that okay, I need to do this. I need to make money. As I told you, I lost my mom. So majority of sending myself to this school is from what I earn and from the money I'm able to earn from the job I do. So you need to say, as much as I have to read, also I need to make money for myself. If not, I'll not be able to pay my school fees. I'll not be able to do other things for myself. So it's there of setting the priority that okay, and trying to balance. You know, you need to find a balance for yourself. Find a balance and get what you want. Even as much as I did the decoration, I've been able to, in the medical school, even also still have a distinction. I had a distinction in biochemistry, a credit in physiology, and other credits in other courses too. And this is, I have just my final exams to do by God's grace in January. I've not had the receipt. So it's not, it's you being determined and being known. Despite all the works, there are some days that even as early as last week, I did a wedding, decoration for a wedding, but still yet, I still attended my clinic activities. So at the point, you will need to work with people, people to help you that, school is important, they'll just help me do like this, you just try to monitor them. So it's more about planning and understanding yourself too. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Akinwale. So, deducing from your speech, you mentioned priority. So prioritizing what needs to be prioritized at the time that it needs to be prioritized. And you mentioned knowing what works for you, knowing yourself. So it's best you do not deceive yourself. You study yourself, and so it helps you being able to balance both your interest in event decoration and your life as a medical student. So the next question is, how long does it take you to plan for an hall that can take about 500 people? So if you want to do that, how long will it take you to do such job?
That's a very nice question because a lot of people don't understand the nitty gritty of event decorations. A lot of people just think that the event decorator just come there, tie cloth on the place, and just go. So sometimes when we charge people, they're like, what are people charging for? So I'll just try to just give a little bit of explanation. One thing is, if you're going to give me an event of 500, as you said, most times I really don't like getting a job impromptu. At least I should have a month notice. And the reason is this: what I want to do, that's why when you have a job, the first thing you do first is go to the location, look at all the angles, look at everything you need to. Because 70% of the job is actually in the head. Many of my decorators, other event planners that do like that, many of them usually draw a floor plan. They do like an architectural floor plan, how they want to do it. But me, I draw all the things I have in my head. So if you have a job for me, I've already planned everything I want to do in my head. So this thing is not going. That's why sometimes when I go to work, my rate of execution is very fast. A job that will take some people like 2 days or 10 hours to do, I can finish in 5 hours. Reason has been 70% of the work, I have done it in my brain. I've used that to study everything I need, get every assistance I need. If I would need a carpenter to help me do a frame, I would have contacted the carpenter. So this is how I want you to do it. If I need an electrician, if I need a florist, I want you to arrange these flowers for me this way, this way. So we just get to the event and do it. So sometimes, depending on the scope of the work, the execution hours could be like about 8 hours to about 12 hours. But the planning of the work is days, sometimes it's months. Is months. And one thing is, the decorator is most times the first person to get to the event venue and the last person to leave
All
because
right.
you have to park.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Akinwale. It's been a beautiful interview, and it is just exposing people to the line of work you do, as well as giving them tips about how they can, also venture into several other things they have to do. Planning is important. Having support is also important. So that's the next question. It
Yeah.
says, do you have like a steady team that you work with, or you work alone? You now get people to do jobs, or do you have like a steady team? Because from what you have been saying, my perspective about event decoration has changed, because I used to think it was just one person who do everything. But you mentioned that you have to have a florist, you have to have this, that. So do you have a steady team that you work with on every job, or you?
Well. The thing is, I'm the kind of person that one thing I want to say about events is you have to know everything about it, all the aspects. Like there was a time I have a someone that works with me majorly. This person has working with me about 3 or 4 years now. He's one I trust. He's a very good florist and also a very good draper. So is someone that I can leave jobs for. So there was this work I was supposed to do, only for me to call him a night to go. He was not available. I had to do it myself because I also have the idea of it. So I have some trusted hands in different aspects. Even in terms of logistics, I have a driver I now use. Before, there were some drivers I used to use before when I started, but now I have a driver that is the only one I use. In fact, there are some places I go to, I just park the materials outside. He will go there, he will park, take it to my house to drop the materials, and also bring it back without me going with him. So I have some trusted people, and people change and people can relocate. From time to time, they also change. When I started, there were a few people I work with. After a while, maybe distance moves them away. But currently now,
Hey, I'm sorry, there was a network glitch. Could you repeat the last thing you said, please?
okay, I said currently I have some trusted hands. I have my trusted florist, even the carpenter I use. I have the driver for the logistics for materials. I have someone, yeah, the same driver I use almost for about 5 years now. I'm still using him now. But before I was using some other people. Sometimes I might have to change. There are times I might need more hands, get here and there, but I still have some trusted hands I work with because it's not something you can do on your own.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Mosope Akinwale. It's been an amazing interview. So I have two more questions for you. No, three more. I'm sorry. Then we can call it a day.
Okay,
So
no
the
problem.
first one is, do you have any future plans for your business? It's a business because it brings you money and
Hmm.
puts you out there. So do you have plans to develop, to grow, to break bounds? So that's what we want to know. What are your future plans for your event decorating
Yes,
business?
yes. For the business, I have future plans for it, which something. And as I said earlier, I told you that event business, if you really want to make it, you need to invest.
Okay.
So my future plan is this. I graduate as a medical doctor. I work as a medical doctor for a while, raise money, save enough, and my plan is to invest part of my savings into the event. And even if I'm not even going to, at the point I was like, I even want to own an event center myself. So that's the plan. To have an event center myself, rent out, and also, if you have an event center and you're also the decorator in that event center, a lot of people go to events and they don't have a decorator of their mind. But you see someone who has an event center and also has decoration, the logistics is reduced. I'm not going to be moving. The materials will be in the event center. I'm not moving from one place to another. You understand? So, but it needs money to invest. So my plan is to work for a while, get enough money to invest into the business, starting with a lot of event materials that, okay, I can even also venture into the renting business in the event industry. I have a lot of flowers, I rent it out. I have a lot of decoration props, I also rent it out also. Then, as time goes on, I move into building my own event center, have it like that, and also work. So that's the future plan that I have for me.
All right, thank you very much. That sounds solid, and I hope you come through with that. So you mentioned earlier
Amen. Oh.
that you are an A student because you mentioned having a distinction, having several credits in your courses. So what's your acing strategy? Dave, also about your coping mechanism as a student here. So how do you get those exams? Because okay, let me start like this. Over my course in this campus, I've seen situations where A students always remain A students because they do something different from the other set of students. So that exam level, how do you ace it? How do you remain top notch?
Hmm. Let me just put a little secret. I've actually been reducing, but not that, and it's not because of, well, put it's kind of lack of effort, something like that. But now, what I do as a person, as I told you, the first thing is understanding myself. I'm a kind of person that I did a lot of I did a lot of discussions. I did a lot of writing out my thoughts, writing out what I'm being taught. So that is my own strategy. I'm not the kind of person that likes reading much. So I divide my reading time into 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there. So people think I am a night reader. Some think I read in the afternoon. And they don't know that it's because of I divide my time. I can only read 30 minutes at a go, take a break, read another 1 hour at a go, take a break. So that is mine, and I'm able to look at itemize that. Okay, in this 30 minutes, this is what I want to learn. This is what I want to do, and that's what works for me. So for anybody in the academics, you just need to determine what works for you. If you are someone that can read for long, sit down and read and try to be consistent. See, LASUCOM or anything academics rewards consistency and hard work. If you can be consistent with what you do, you will make it, you will ace it. But if once you lose that consistency, no, you start dropping. You start dropping once you lose the consistency. So you just have to be consistent in what you see that is working for you. There are two things here. consistency, and what works for you. Don't try to do what works for others. Look at this is what when I do this, so I'm able to read. But if you say that my friends have been reading from morning to night, you want to join them. If you are consistent at it will work for you because you are consistent at the wrong thing. So try to identify what works for you and be consistent at it. And I think the sky is going to be the limit for anybody who is able to understand that about him or herself.
All right, thank you very much, sir. It's been an amazing ride as always. So the last question I have for you is, what's your advice to any undergraduate? We're talking, the aim of this interview is to expose the secrets of and the struggle behind any blooming business, to give students the view that they need to come out of their shells and become better persons, better, we call them 10x undergrad. So what's your advice to any undergraduate who's going to eventually see this material? What's your advice for them?
Yeah, my advice is you should try and pick up skills whenever the opportunity arises. You know, for me, let me say I was lucky. I just grew up into the skill, and I actually took the opportunity. Actually, a lot of people who have their parents doing some things and they don't pick up the skills. So a lot of opportunities arise, a lot of workshops, seminars that you see. Just pick up a skill, and once you see that I think I like doing this thing, just work towards it and try and develop it. Develop it. Don't just learn a skill and just throw it one side. Develop it. It's the economy we are now is nothing is safe. The medical profession is not your ticket to richness or wealth. Your degree, I mean, bachelor's degree is not like the O-level certificate, like as they say now. So your added skill also can open other doors for you. So pick up a skill whenever you have the opportunity to and develop it and volunteer if possible, if you get opportunities to make use of that skill. And also try to build up social connection, social network, social currency. Events work. If you don't know people, you cannot get a job. I was able to meet with all the LASUMSA executive and meet with them. That's why till tomorrow, so far I'm still in LASUCOM, I'm still available. I'll still be doing most of the LASUMSA events. So if you don't meet with them, if you don't know people, if you don't meet with people, and you don't tell people about your skills, nobody's going to engage you in anything. I think that's what I have to say.
All right. Thank you very much. As usual, it's been fantastic learning about how you started, how you built yourself, and the advice that you give to undergrad. Because that's what 10x undergrad is about. Um, Developing yourself such that you are independent and able to stand for yourself. So it's been an amazing journey seeing you, talking to you via Zoom, and I believe that this material will inspire a lot of people to break out of their shell and do more. So thank you very much, Mr. Mosope Akinwale, for gracing us with your presence. I pray that you
Yeah, thank you
continue
very
to
much for
bloom.
having me.
Yes. So I'll see
Thank
you next
you.
time. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful week.
Yeah, have a lovely day. And you too. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.